The DocMas residents.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
This, like every year, we record and release an episode every day leading up to Christmas, the 12 days of DocMas.
That's right. 12 episodes, 12 days, 12 drinks. 1 day of recording, though. My God.
But 1 day of recording, 2 marriages ruined. And if you're on our Patreon, you get to see all of the things that we are drinking.
That's
And
right. Our Caesars are getting increasingly complex as we go.
We got pickles and mozzarella sticks on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickles and matzo sticks.
Yeah.
It's happening.
So we've got, before we introduce our guest, also because that guest is late, we are going to continue without them.
Called out.
Tight schedule. He doesn't listen anyways. It's fun. We got a review.
Hey.
We got 5 stars from iTunes Canada.
Ooh.
We don't always get those. From Elaine Leverdier.
I think it's Alain Leverdier.
Sure. Why not? What are you, French?
I am, actually.
Well, that's the first I've heard of that.
Jefferson.
Wow, Jefferson, this is the first I've heard that you are French.
What's the review?
From almost the top of the world is the subject.
Ooh.
Which I think that's referring to us. Yeah. Who says, enjoyable podcast. Nice LGBT inclusion.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things I would describe
Thank
us,
you for noticing.
and I guess that is technically true, but it's not a way I would ever describe us.
I mean, we are.
Not intentionally.
What do you mean not intentionally?
I just mean that
we're
like
not accidentally inclusive. That's a legitimate position we both hold.
yeah, but I'm not. I'm not trying to be like uninclusive.
What?
We're open to everyone, but I'm not.
That's what inclusive is.
I know, but I'm not like intentionally being like.
What?
I don't know.
What are you arguing?
I'm saying that I
take the nice compliment.
I don't know how to do that.
Jesus, this is painful to watch.
They go on to say, likable hosts. Wow, that's completely untrue. And now they're regretting saying that.
Yeah. We undo that.
Yeah, and great surprise is that this one comes from the Yukon.
Wow. Did he write it with all those stutters in that, or was that just you?
Yeah, it was actually...
Was that your take on it?
No, it's like when you find like a really well-written script and you're just like, wow, is that all improv? It's like, no, that's actually in the script.
Thank you very much. What a great review. That's lovely.
Yeah, I'm glad I could shit all over it.
Yeah. I mean, next time just say something like right down the middle. Doesn't have to be too nice where Richard won't know what to do with it.
And today we are joined...
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. A little more.
Bye.
Little more.
Past guest, future comedian, Oshea
also
Jephson.
a past comedian.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Hi, everybody. I'm holding this cloth of pee.
What?
Why are you holding pee? Drop the pee.
It's a long story. I couldn't find a garbage.
Drop the pee. Just drop the pee.
Sorry. My plan to kill Reed has not succeeded.
Oh, did Earl pee?
Earl got so excited. He tried to just full on mount me and then just...
Okay, why? Put it away. Put it on the...
There's no trash
Just
anywhere.
throw it in the corner.
I don't want to throw it on the ground.
Throw it in the corner. It's my house. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Stop waving pee in my face.
Sorry. I was being offered a Caesar
Are you negging me?
downstairs,
Is that
and
what's
then
going on?
I was like, I got nowhere to put it, and I ran up. That's why I'm out of breath, too. Not a weird reason. That's
not a weird reason, just holding pee.
Yeah.
Also,
Totally
I feel
normal.
like when anybody says it's not for a weird reason, they're probably masking something.
Bit of a weird reason, maybe.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Oshea. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, perfectly on time. I appreciate that.
Dipping your cheese tot in a Caesar?
It's cheese tot. It's a mozzarella stick.
Oh.
You're so aggressive. You couldn't take the nice review. Idiot. So aggressive.
I'm getting prepared for the roast.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know you're not roasting Oshea, though.
Well, I know, but that's just
It's you and me. We're ending our friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
is he going to roast you on? There's nothing wrong with you.
Thank you, Oshea.
Richard on
That's
the
why
other hand,
O'Shea and I can't go against each other.
I know, the two nicest guys in the comedy community. Yeah.
O'Shea's a good friend.
I value
Your turn.
Reed.
Oh, that wasn't an insult. Oh, I didn't say he was a great friend.
Boo.
Sick burn.
Sorry, O'Shea.
I'm so sorry.
Good God. Wow.
What's going on?
Hey,
How's life been?
Well, pretty good, other than the fact that we're only into drink number 3 today.
yeah.
So Richard's drunk is what you're telling me.
Richard is ham-boned.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm actually not that bad yet.
He's
not that bad.
Red cheeks going on.
That's just,
Compared to where I've seen him,
yeah.
he's not that bad yet.
Oh yeah, it's been worse.
No. It's been so much worse. It's
Ooh.
been painfully worse. No, I did a lot of research this year on our choice of drinks
You did research on your choice of drinks.
so that I wouldn't. Last year didn't happen again. My mother.
Richard's gunning for the Nobel Prize in mixology.
Yeah.
What a weird logic. It's not like drink reasonably. It's what alcohol can I drink?
Let's just say last year my mother.
He went to Google and said, "What can I binge drink?"
something cart before the horse.
That's literally true. But also last year my mother-in-law found me in my underwear wrapped around the toilet. So let's not have that happen again.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's not here. I mean, it literally wouldn't happen again.
No, I mean that's how drunk I'm going to get. I'm going to end up.
You're gonna end up in Windsor, Ontario.
The day is young in winter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So why don't we talk about some news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You used to work in the news. That's a news sound, right?
Yeah. That's the
thank
classic news sound.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Are the Super Sons joining Superman and Lois?
Meaning,
So, do you remember the Lois and Clark? Do you remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay.
oh right, because they talked about making a spin-off show with the CW Superman and Lois, right? The ones that are from Supergirl.
Yeah. So, you know the channel CW? They have
Yeah.
a bunch of DC shows on right now, The Flash and things like that. And so the Supergirl show has a Superman and a Lois in it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they are part of that show, and they're talking, and that Superman's become so popular as well as that Lois that they're now talking about doing a spin-off show for that,
Yeah.
just for them, which is really cool. And their storyline's actually getting really interesting because they had to like go to another planet to have a child, and
Well, and they have a kid. They've got John
Yes.
now. So is the idea that but the Super Sons in the comics is John Kent, it's Superman's son, and Damian Wayne, Batman's son, and
So-
they team up.
there was a casting announcement for this show that was 2 kids. Now they've changed the name, which they often do for these castings so that it doesn't get out. But 2 kids, ages 14, the same
Right.
age.
Could be Super Sons.
So one is Matthew, is a 14-year-old Caucasian boy with an eye toward casting someone between 13 and 16. He is described as well on his way to becoming a physical specimen, clean-cut, modest, and kind-hearted. Weird to talk about a child that way, but
yeah.
and
Well, I mean, we're delving
Fine
into the
physical specimen.
we're delving into the weird world of casting now.
with an
but-
aw shucks attitude. That's,
so what? That's supposed to be Batman's son? Or?
I don't know. Yeah, obviously that someone doesn't seem dated. A 3-spot athlete who's already garnering attention from college and pro scouts.
Jesus.
The next character is Ethan, also a 14-year-old Caucasian boy who they would like to see played by someone 13 to 16. Is described as a young Leonardo DiCaprio who has an inherent darkness to him.
Just like Superman.
Yeah, Ethan's wildly intelligent, but his mercurial temperament and social anxiety limits his interaction with people. Consequently, he spends most of his free time playing video games.
I mean, sure sounds like a version of a
Right?
Damien. Yeah. Now, O'Shea, you've had a questioning look on your face this whole time.
Well, because the spin-off would be the Super Sons spin-off. It would
No, they would just be included as part of the show. They've done casting for
Yeah,
characters
part of the
on
Lois
that
and
show.
Clark
Yeah, sorry,
show.
this isn't a spin-off of the spin-off. They would just both of these kids would be in this Superman and Lois show.
Wouldn't it just be Superman then? And his partner?
Wow, way to minimize
It's
her role.
2019.
So- no, but I'm just saying, like, if they're, it's just like a marriage show.
Well, because
But that's what the old Lois and Clark, show was.
Yeah.
It was more just about like their relationship than it ever was about like punching robots.
it was their relationship being impeded by his being super. And
Yeah.
I think what makes
Oh, big Superman, what a burden.
well, one of the I think in my opinion,
The struggle is real.
the only thing that makes like Superman shows interesting
Yeah.
is when it's not focused on the punching, because he's already the most powerful thing. Like you can't do
Yeah,
that
and everyone
much.
knows that.
But
Yeah.
what everything else is like for him, like being having to be a human even though he's an alien, having to have a real relationship even though he's Superman, being from like a small town and trying to live in the big city while still being an alien, like those are the things that are more interesting. So having a show that's about his marriage, being an alien, and Superman,
Well, but
at the
then
same
also
time.
about being a parent, right?
Yeah.
Especially if Damien's like the bad influence
Yes.
or something like that on John would be kind of funny.
super
Superman
fun.
as a parent be like.
Well, I mean, in the comics, he's pretty much what you would expect. He's like
Clark
Great dad.
Kent.
great dad, fully understanding, very encouraging.
Surprisingly, though, Damian Wayne not the case.
Well, I mean, Damien didn't even know, he hadn't even met his father until he was like 9.
Yeah,
His dad is Batman, of course.
but his last name's
Yeah,
Wayne.
no, I got
Well,
that.
his last name is Wayne, but
So,
he
but then
he
his
was
last name's not Batman. I don't.
yeah, he's Damien Batman.
Okay.
He was his father is Gary
Damien
Batman.
Batman Wayne.
I mean, I thought he was Bruce Wayne's son.
No. His father is Gary Batman. He's he's a like a small claims lawyer in Gotham.
Well, welcome
Billboard
to
lawyer.
Batman and Batman.
Have you been hurt in a villain attack? Call Gary Batman.
My
You've
new,
been exposed to asbestos?
here's my son, also Batman. Well, Batman and Batman, we are the ones.
Batman and Son.
When super crimes affect you, we're here for you.
Smile.
I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well,
That could be good. That could be good.
all right, let's get away from the news and start getting into these questions.
Let's do it.
All right, first question comes from Facebook.
Go to the face and the book. Go to the Facebook.
Yeah. First question comes from We've Only Just done.
Dan Dunn.
That's right. We've got a lot of drops for all of these.
You know, you worked in radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We drop everyone.
Yeah. Are you talking about CKOW again?
Boom.
Dan Dunn asks,
Wrecked.
what comic storylines do you think they're going to use or would be a good fit for the Stargirl TV show? So Stargirl, we
Yeah.
should give O'Shea some context.
Have you ever
here.
heard of Stargirl before?
No, and I was actually just thinking, I appreciate everyone's questions and everyone's patience and that I'm a noob to the
Well,
comics.
on the
Spelled 00B.
the preface,
obviously.
Oh, of course,
the premise
'cause I'm
of
with the
this,
youths.
the premise of this show should be that it should be accessible to anyone.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
really inclusive.
You
Yes.
guys are really good at explaining the comics, too.
Well, I remember that last year, I think when you came in, I had to explain Donna Troy.
Yeah, that's
which
a lot of
is-
information.
Which was a bad pairing of question. And
I still have nightmares.
yeah, also do I.
Yeah.
I don't think he got it. I don't think he's reading
How could
the
I have
comic.
done it better?
you think you'd be used to bad parenting by this point?
Oh, fuck you.
Whoa.
So okay, so
Save it for the roast
sorry,
battle.
I'm sorry.
Double wrecked.
Write it down.
So Stargirl,
Write it down.
Stargirl is this character. She's a teenager, and she has this. It's called a cosmic staff. It basically draws like. I knew you were going to do that. It draws energy from like the stars and the cosmos. She can fly and shoot energy and stuff like that. And her stepdad, who was formerly the sidekick of
You're not even a real
a
dad.
different hero, becomes her sidekick to help protect her, and he wears this big robot suit, and he goes by Stripe. So it stars in Stripe was the comic that she was in.
Stargirl Stripe. Yeah, it's cute.
But yeah, so she's like a teenage superhero with this sort of kind of cosmic energy power, essentially. And they're making a TV show that's going to come out. I think it's going to be on the CW. It's
Soon,
it's
yeah,
an
it's
Arrowverse
coming soon.
show.
Yeah. So, what are there any like pinnacle storylines that you think that could be really good moments for this show that they probably would, if they were going to base it off of a pre-existing story?
Not necessarily storylines, but what are like the big character pieces?
Yeah.
So she's a teenager. She has to balance. It's the Spider-Man thing. You have to balance school and
Your Veronica Mars's
and the social.
Being a Stargirl, what a burden.
Every answer is
Yeah.
going to be like, oh, it's so fucking hard to be a superhero. She's got to balance all of those, like teenage emotions and all this kind of stuff. The fact that, her stepdad is looking out for her, but she probably, be like, I'm going to do it on my own. Like that kind of shit is in there. But also then the ultimate thing will be, is she up to the task of being a superhero? Because she finds the cosmic staff. Someone else had been the Star-Spangled Kid or Starman before her. She's inherited their sort of superhero names.
So she wasn't a superhero before it. She just not to put it light, but stumbled upon the staff by default. Now is Stargirl.
She found some old equipment, because her stepdad, like I said, used to be a sidekick, so he had the stuff from the previous Star-Spangled Kid
going through the garage,
kind of
cosmic staff,
kind of, yeah. So the idea of her, is she going to live up to those heroes? What is the threat she's facing?
Yeah,
I actually don't know precisely what they draw. It's not like there's necessarily a ton of comic history to her, but I would imagine it feeling kind of like those things that makes Spider-Man kind of interesting. How do you balance normal life and responsibility and all of those kind of pieces, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Does that sound like a thing that you would be interested in watching?
I'm interested in all of these. I think the question for me would be, just generally from a viewer, how long do these storylines go on before it's okay, we get it, you're filled with angst?
Right. Well, presumably you would think that can only last so long, but on the CW, the angst never ends.
Broodiness has gone for 15 years.
There's definitely a thing on the CW where they keep the melodrama going.
But it's probably they keep it going, obviously, to keep the show going. But
They do, but sometimes I think they forget that they've had characters already deal with something and move past it, and then they be like, "Oh, well, we need some conflict in this episode."
They need to learn how to
make them go back to the way they were before.
They need to learn how to work together. It's they've been working together for 8 years.
Yeah, there are instances like that. Overall,
Arrow,
Arrow definitely big one. Even the Flash is guilty of that.
Yeah,
be like, you guys have trusted each other for 6 years. Why are we worried about whether or not we could trust each other?
That was a thing that I really hated from watching the Merlin TV show, because one of the things that drove me nuts was that you would think by the third time that someone has been possessed by magic and is doing things for evil, you would start coming up with protocols for hey, you're even slightly different than usual. Let's just run you through the process.
Right. But no, they're I just assume this is you and you're finally speaking the truth and it hurts me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing that drives me nuts about TV in general. But all right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Almost didn't make it.
The first question comes from Andre Smith.
Ooh, Andre.
Who asks, where do you think the core members of the League, let's say Tim versus JL cartoon lineup, excluding GL, of course.
Yeah.
We'll explain. Fall on the emotional spectrum if each had to be assigned a color.
Oh, geez. Okay.
A lot to explain here.
Couple of pieces in there. So Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It's a character. He has a ring and a lantern, and he has this sort of green
classic
light.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, great. I'm glad that's your touch point for Green Lantern.
Yeah, take that, The Irishman. Basically, the idea of the Green Lanterns is every color has a lantern, all the main colors at least, and they all are they're fueled by a different emotion.
Yeah,
so green is fueled by willpower, determination. Red is rage, orange is greed, yellow is fear, blue is hope, indigo is compassion, and violet or purple is love. So they all are fueled by a different emotion. So this question is saying, if we had to take other superhero characters and give them a lantern ring, what would we give them? So for example, a character like Superman, what color do you think he would be? What ring would you give? Hope?
Yeah.
Blue?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Right? He's all about...
He does keep saying that the S means hope.
Yeah, that's kind of why on my planet this means hope.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a Batman. Then.
Ooh, what do you think?
I don't know. I think Batman is hope.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
Ooh,
because Batman always wants better for society and knows what he's doing is to improve society, right? He doesn't think that those people need Batman, but they need it now, but he doesn't want them to need it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Whereas Superman doesn't. Superman just kind of goes with the flow and has never really Like, I don't see him looking forward. It's just like, oh, I have to battle the aliens, and now I live on Earth.
I mean, this is an interesting point. It's
Again,
the difference between
hyper-reduction
how
of the
people
plot,
perceive the heroes versus what is their internal
Like, I would
mission,
say
right?
that
Like,
Batman's internal vision of himself is fear.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was actually going to say maybe the people like fear him because he puts that out into the
I
world.
was
But
gonna say,
maybe
like,
Batman sees himself as being something more hopeful. That's an interesting.
I would say the reverse, because I think that like villains find him like are fearful of him,
Right.
and he tries to invoke fear to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
But the general people see him as a signal of hope.
Oh, interesting. Well, yeah. I mean, either way, there's definitely like more than one way to play it. I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Batman as a blue lantern. You know, the Yellow Lantern thing's been done with Batman.
For sure.
We've seen it. That's a more interesting take for it. Let's take Wonder Woman.
Ooh, love.
Yeah, which she has actually been.
Yeah.
If you read it, you read Blackest
Yeah,
Night. She became a Violet Lantern for a bit there.
Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter.
He's not hope.
He's got to be like compassion or something. He has like telepathy and that he can like be in touch with people's thoughts and
Empathetic.
feelings and
Empathy. For
he
sure.
could be like the compassionate, the empathetic one. That would make sense, I think.
Yeah. Aquaman.
Ooh, did you see the Aquaman movie, O'Shea?
No, it was on my flights, but I didn't watch it. I, in fact, made the mistake of opting for the most recent Men in Black, and
Over Aquaman.
My God.
yes, a regret that I will have for the rest of my life.
So I'll be saying, I'll be honest.
Truly terrible.
An airplane movie. That's more of an airplane movie than Aquaman.
That is true. Yeah.
But you know, I still wish I'd chosen Aquaman.
Probably, but I think
Yeah.
Aquaman's where its peak is when you have a bigger screen.
Yeah,
because
I don't know
especially
that,
towards the end, there's
Yeah.
so much going on.
I don't know that the 5-inch screen is great for Aquaman.
Yeah. I'm
With
sure
the
about that's
passenger announcements.
I'm sure that's really that's how he shot it. I think that he really wanted it to be seen in.
I can't wait for a pretentious director to be like, we really made this for an airplane. So
Bad lighting, bad sound.
Aquaman, though, just in general, we know a bit about him. You've been exposed to some Aquaman before.
Yeah.
What would you think if you had to like give him like a primary like emotion, like a calling card for that character? What would you say it was?
From what I know, I would probably also say. Well, I was gonna say hope again, but I guess you can't have the same.
his whole thing's about like protection, right? Like it's more about like
And like duty. I mean, if anything, he could also be a Green Lantern. maybe.
totally. Yeah, I think he could totally be a Green Lantern.
He's got some anger, you know, especially in the movie.
I totally forgot about rage.
You know, that's in there too. He's got some anger about like not being accepted.
Yeah. People
And
treating the ocean badly.
People treating the ocean poorly, but
that
not
could
being accepted on land or in the sea.
Seems like all of his decisions are made based on spite.
Yeah.
It could also be fear, right? You look at even like not treating the oceans properly or having society collapse.
Totally.
Yeah, I think those are all reasonable ones for an Aquaman.
Absolutely.
Last one, let's say, because he talked to Timbers, let's say Hawk Girl.
Oh.
Hawk Girl for me, all rage.
Yeah.
She's got a mace. She's from like a warrior race that has wings.
Just because I want greed in there, I'm going to say Lex, because he's technically has been on the Justice League.
That's true.
Yeah.
That also makes sense.
Yeah.
Lex is absolutely greedy and has been in Orange.
Yeah,
Lantern.
absolutely. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What a good question, though.
Absolutely.
That was a good question.
All right. Next question coming from, since we've already been speaking about him, Talking Superman.
Hey.
Who asks, who would be in your ideal Superman revenge squad? Do you think the team concept is best with more grounded characters or characters on par with Superman's power levels?
Superman Revenge Squad is like a team of villains that sometimes team up to take him down. And the first version, they were all like, just sort of like
Low tier.
C-list aliens and that were like, none of us are good enough.
But maybe together.
But together, maybe we could take down Superman.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, exactly. The most recent version of it, they were like more top tier. They were almost like all like at his level. It included Zod and Cyborg Superman and the Eradicator, like other sort of Superman level characters.
Yeah.
So what do you think is more interesting? Superman having to face
The most powerful.
having to face the threat of like underdogs who band together and maybe are more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
Or Superman having to fight against a real big monolith of people that he is not more powerful than.
But eventually he'll prevail because he's the most powerful.
I mean, you would.
So do you want to see
theory.
him be the most powerful based on like having to get there? Or do you want to see him be Superman, but like it's really more about the villains than it is about Superman in the
I think
underdog.
the Band of Misfit Toys is the best.
I want to see Ocean's 11. That's
why is that? Why do you like the Misfits?
Because I just think, again, if let's say I'm like watching this happen, I'm like Joe Blow on Earth watching Superman take on enemies.
Right.
Him just maxing out his strength and fighting just brute strength with brute strength.
him hitting
We've
3,000.
seen it
Yeah.
done, but forcing him to think about, okay, if these guys are working together, what are they going to come up with that might trick me or beat me?
There may be more of a thing where Superman has to employ his other skills, his journalism, his investigation.
Yeah.
his,
I'd love to see a
compassion,
New
and like
York
things
Times
like
story.
that.
I just want to see.
I really want to see Superman take them down in an op-ed.
I want the Ocean's 11 them
Maxima assaulted me.
finding the right villains for the job, and then like them having to like come up with a plan. It's like when you have to.
We need the demolitions
Yeah,
expert.
yeah.
We need the wheelman.
safe cracker. Yeah, totally.
That's right.
That's the storyline I want.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Speaking of, I really like this.
Yeah, that is by Jay Gonzo, an artist who does a lot of those, like the lucha sort of style.
He has a comic
artwork.
book series, like a lucha libre comic series.
It's called El Mano de Destino. He's a cool artist. But yeah,
very cool.
Richard introduced me to him.
Yeah,
it's really neat.
Nice.
He's great. He's been on the show. The artist
image. Okay.
Yeah, no, this image.
He's been on the show.
It's on every show.
He's on
I
every,
think,
technically.
probably.
I'll be honest, not a great guest. He doesn't say much.
All right, let's go on to the Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
That's right. First question. First question from the only question from Reddit comes from Man Spider Pew Pew.
Okay. Okay. I love Reddit names.
That's my favorite.
Is he a man spider who's pew-pewing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is he like, man, a spider? Pew pew. Like he's killing a spider.
Or is that like...
But he was sad about killing
Is
the
Man Spider a Man Spider when he does something calls his name out, so he's jumping in the air going Man Spider and then going
right? Yeah,
yeah.
Or maybe
it's pew pew.
Well, I know, but that's how you write that.
Or maybe Man Spider like runs a church and the interior decorator's like, "What do you want to go over here?" And he goes pew pew.
You know, of all the options, I think that's most definitely it. That's what
Or you're walking
I'm
into
too proud of that one.
You're walking into an old abandoned house and you're just like you're looking at your bottom of your shoes and you're like, man, spider pew pew.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's also good.
I mean, it's better than the rag of pee O'Shea brought in here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You need more garbages in your home. Okay,
I have them in the places that they should be, in the bathroom.
There's none in this studio.
I know, because I don't use garbages. I don't make garbage in here. I bring it somewhere else.
I just put my pee rags in the corner too.
You also just pee in the corner. So, Man Spider.
Now
Pew
we have
Pew.
a rag to clean it up.
Man Spider Pew Pew asks,
of course,
do any of the old gods live in the New 52 to Darkseid War? Live in the Skylands, or are they all in the Source? Good God!
Wow. Have you heard of characters like Darkseid or like Mr. Miracle or Big Barda?
Negative.
Or anything like that? No.
Big Barda?
Yeah.
Nope.
So they're a bunch of characters that were created by a comic creator named Jack Kirby, who co-created Fantastic Four and the Avengers and a bunch of stuff like that.
Marvel.
But all of those, like Darkseid and that, are part of what he called the new gods. They are like these sort of cosmic entities. They're like meant to be the new gods of things.
Okay.
The old gods then refers to, generally speaking, it means like the pantheons that we know about, like the Olympians or like the Norse gods or things like that, often is what is referred to as the old gods.
Yes.
So, I mean, in terms of comics, Wonder Woman gets her powers. Her father is Zeus. She's brought to life by Zeus. So she's tied to the Olympians, from very, very distantly removed. But Atlantis and that is tied to Poseidon. So that's another, like with the Greek pantheon, there's characters that Dead Man gets brought back by Ramakrishna, the Hindu god of karma.
Yep.
So all sorts of these are like out there just in the world.
Yeah.
Fuck this question. Where do they live?
Yeah.
Where do they reside? They mostly reside in their like heaven realms, right?
Yeah.
Like Olympus or things like that. That is technically what this question has referred to as Skyland.
Yeah.
It's a part of the multiverse where gods live and where heaven is and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Well, not heaven itself, but
heaven.
Elysium, you know, other heavens.
Yeah.
That's where most of them live. The new gods tend to be more about like the source which is beyond the multiverse. But yeah, these old gods, Zeus, Aztec gods, Celtic gods, all of them, they have their own heavens. They're in the Skylands. They're like more contained.
Spyro, you know, all of the Skylanders.
They're more like contained in our like realm.
Yeah.
They're where they are.
If you want a detailed map of the multiverse and beyond, go to our website.
That's right.
And we've got it all there.
Now, question for Oshea.
Yes.
Just from your travels as a human in the real world.
Okay, I can answer this.
Do you have
I travel.
have you ever had any interest or sort of like geeky knowledge or anything about like some of those old pantheons, like Celtic gods, Greek gods, Norse gods, anything like that?
Great question, Reed. Great question.
Thank you.
That's
why I'm here.
Don't think so. Although
Great improv skills, wonderful.
I think one of the things I always wonder about the gods is, let's say one of them like really does, or they all exist, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people do believe that they do.
Yeah.
How would we see that manifest itself? Like, do you think there would ever be a time or a way that we would know? Let's say they were trying to keep it secret. Like, what's the stuff that you look out for to either confirm or deny the existence of these gods? That's what I struggle with.
A nice, easy question.
Yeah. How do you describe your spirituality?
How do you
defend your spirituality?
How do you prove the existence of gods? Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I mean, all of them do exist in the DC universe. So if you happen to worship Celtic gods or you happen to worship Hindu gods, they both exist. Like, you're both right. And the way it generally works in the comics is that godhood doesn't necessarily mean you're the be-all, end-all.
Yeah.
But it does mean that you're kind of an embodiment of the thing you're the god of. Not necessarily exclusive. You could have multiple sun gods, but the idea is that all of them then would draw their power from the sun.
Yeah.
They're all like an aspect of the sun. If you destroyed the sun, all those sun gods are fucked.
Yeah.
Like that sort of idea, right? I mean, as far as how would you prove that then in the reverse? I mean, short of
destroying the sun.
Short of destroying the things they're meant to be gods of, to see whether or not you've marked a change in like the natural world. I'm actually not sure what experiment you would
I think
conduct
there's
to
a
do
way
that.
that you can sort of, at least sort of esoterically imagine it. Is it's interesting that now you could do the reverse of it, but I like to think of like the way that you can prove that they exist is that the ideologies of the places that these gods are from tend to mimic the gods themselves. So in like Eastern philosophy, it's a lot more about sort of the like spiritual realm, the land connection to and people's connections to their environments.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
And Western philosophy is more about like how do things directly impact yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
And so of course we have a singular God, and everything is about sort of feeling your own guilt about your relationship to that God.
Yeah, that's
when
fair.
Eastern philosophy, it's more about like what instead of like I'm doing something like oh God's treating me poorly, it's more about like what am I not doing as part of my path that's negatively affecting my environment.
Right.
So I think that like it's
interesting.
You could think that like that those gods are the ones reflecting onto those cultures, and that's why they have developed the way they have.
I mean, there is certainly an element of God is what you make it.
Yeah.
Kind of to it.
Which I like that
For
idea
sure.
though.
Yeah. That's very interesting. What a weirdly earnest question.
Yeah.
Do you think they all know that they all live in the multiverse together?
Yeah, I think the gods do. I think they've got enough perception of reality to know that like Apollo doesn't think he's the only sun god. Because
But even with like the Viking gods or
yeah,
like
I think so,
Just
because
walk down the God Street and hang out.
well, because as far as the multiverse is concerned, it's not even all the gods of a planet, right?
Yeah.
Krypton has a sun god. His name is Rao.
Yeah.
Like there are gods everywhere.
You're blowing my mind now.
They are-
I didn't even begin
The
to
multiverse is
fathom that.
lousy with gods. What's the Tamaranian one? The god, his name is Exhal. That's Starfire, where she's from. She talks about Exhal all the time. There's gods lousy out there in the galaxy and the universe. So I think they are aware of each other.
In my mind, I was thinking 12 to 20. I didn't even.
I think we're talking more in a magnitude of thousands. Yeah.
I like
that
the
makes
idea
way
that there's
more
maybe a
sense.
hierarchy in them, and then they have it's much like a high school, and there's
The cool friend
special
at-
cliques,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like
There's definitely they're not all equally
oh,
powerful
shit.
to each other.
like JC just walked in, like everybody.
Everybody chill.
Look,
Absolutely.
fucking sandal boy.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go on to our next piece, which we're done with the questions, but we do
right.
have a voicemail.
Okay, let's have
So
it.
let's get into that.
Hey, Dr. DC, producer Richard. Anyway, this one is for you, Richard. His name is Lightweight. They have the ability to reduce the constitution and strength of those around them to their own level. So as an example, I don't know, if the lightweight gets drunk very easily, so does everyone around them. Or if they're not very strong, people around them will also be fairly weak. But this doesn't raise anyone's abilities. Like if someone was weaker than them, they don't suddenly have the lightweight's strength. This is just purely a negative effect.
There seems to be some subtext to this question.
Wow. So
That's not subtext. That's just outright text. That's yeah. I love the idea that it clearly inspired by you. All this character could do is bring people down to their level. You can't raise anyone up to their level.
No.
It's only dragging them down. You can only make people worse.
if there's anything that I'm passionate about, it's about bringing people down.
I mean, that's better than any joke I can come up with for this roast battle that we're doing.
You may as well give
That's
up
the
now.
ultimate indictment. Someone that doesn't really know you that well has fucking crucified
Nailed it,
you.
yeah.
Just-
So then if you are then lightweight
Yeah.
and you get into a fight,
Mhm.
right? And now everyone is down to your level. Do you think
Yeah.
you win 50% of the fights?
Oh, that's interesting.
Because you wouldn't win 100%, right? Because everyone's just at the same level.
No, I
Or
think
would you just
regardless, I
fight
lose.
in-
I think
infinity.
I think lightweight's got to lose.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
So their power's not even helpful.
Yeah.
They just make people worse, but they still don't.
But
lose.
it's enough to give
I
them.
think that's-
It gives them at least a feeling like they have a fighting chance.
This is heartbreaking to think about. What it must be to live in Richard's shoes.
It's a tough life, man.
Oh, man.
Well, that brings us to the
dial dock.
The dial dock.
That's
So
right.
we just got one from our friend Cosmic DM there. Every week we and every episode of this DocMas, we have to come up with a randomly generated character.
Yep. New name,
yeah.
crazy power, and we do it on the spot. And I'm very ready for this.
You're so ready.
Richard, do you have one?
I do. My character's name is the Patriot.
I don't like this already.
Who has the ability to summon abilities from any country of basically any characteristics that surround that country.
Right.
So he's just like Russia, and then suddenly he's got like a hammer and sickle, and he's got like
I see.
he's like a good spy. He's like
Right.
yeah, he's got access to nuclear weapons.
So
you know.
he's the superhero of broad stereotypes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I like that
Yeah,
one.
he's always offensive.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Mine is called.
Whiteboard. No.
Mine is called Thermostab. Not
Wonder
because,
where you got that.
Not because I was looking at anything that rhymes with thermostab.
I don't know what could. So
So Thermostab basically is a character that has this super powerful knife, and what the knife can do is in any substance or any circumstance can
Okay.
either raise or lower the temperature of things. So let's say there's a steel door, the knife could superheat to get through the door and melt the door. Or, you could do like the opposite. If there's like a lake you got to get across, you put the knife in, you could freeze the lake. So Thermostab has this knife basically that can either raise or lower the temperature of things.
wow.
Yeah.
O'Shea.
Well, initially I was thinking the better,
Oh,
Okay.
but BEDDER.
Oh no.
And then Their
Okay.
strength would be, when you go to a hotel and the sheets are tucked in really, really, really tight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could trap your enemies in a bed that's wrapped so tight.
Do you have to get them to your hotel room first?
Oh, no. Why did you even lead it in that direction?
Well, you said hotel room.
Well, initially I was thinking maybe
Or do
something
you
like
get-
the Chorzord too, which would be
Right.
someone who could just do chores really, really well. But then
Someone who could theoretically throw out a piso drag.
But as a Zord, would they have to combine with other people to be able
Yeah.
to make that happen?
Yeah,
The
it's
better.
like garbage, laundry,
Yeah, yeah.
dishes.
Chorzord.
News team assemble!
I like it.
I like it, both of those.
That's awesome. Those are
great.
both very good. Yeah.
So they're,
Wow.
I don't think they're up to your guys' level yet.
Oh my God, they're already better.
Give
Hey,
me
if
another
anything-
year and I'll be like...
Hey, if anything, I'm going to bring you down to my level.
I love how ruthlessly you were cut down by a fan.
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
that was incredible.
Well,
It's still sitting heavy
speaking
on my
of
soul.
fans, residents, we would love to hear kind of characters you can come
That's
up
right.
with. So send us your characters with the hashtag DialDoc.
That's right.
Or send us a question for a future episode, or just nerd out with us online through our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast.
our Twitter,
At Dr. DC.
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast.
email.
DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
Of course, we have a subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
And like you've just heard from Cosmic DM, we have a phone that you can call.
208-917-3238.
That's DCEU if you don't
right.
want to write that 3238.
That's right.
But it's more complicated to do the letters, to be honest.
Does anyone know how to actually work the letters on the phone?
Yeah, they're written on them.
No, I know, but do you click them? Never mind.
You don't have to click it's not like T9. You don't have to click as many times to get the letter.
Oh, you sweet
If
summer
something
child.
if like the number was like, 267 bath, you don't have to like hit twice to get the B and then hit once again to get the A. Right? Like you just hit the number on which the corresponding letter sits.
Do you not find, why not just go with the numbers though? You know?
Because sometimes
Because it's fun to spell
Yeah.
things out. Because then if you can remember it easier, it's hard to remember 3238, but if you can remember
I would be
DCEU.
curious to know if you're the first person ever to have this question.
No, but I was going to say, think about those dial lawyers that are like 1-800 like law
Yeah.
for you or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then the people are just confused by the letters and never end up calling the injury lawyer because they can't figure out the letters
Yeah.
on the phone.
Yeah, somehow his phone number is 16 digits long, so I gotta keep tapping to get the
And
other
stupid people have probably the best lawsuits.
So much money to be had.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And not only can you talk to us online, but you can also go to our website.
DrDCPodcast.com or .ca.
Of course, give us 5 stars on iTunes.
That's
and
right.
every episode this week, we are releasing a video on our Patreon. So you have
That's
to
right.
subscribe $5 a month to get that. Plus, you'll get the regular 4 extra episodes a month.
That's right. It's patreon.com/DrDC. You get the double dose on Fridays, and yeah, just all throughout DocMas, you get to watch us slowly deteriorate. So
Yes.
that's a little extra Christmas cheer.
Faster than the last 2 years.
Yeah.
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 I'm just thinking of everyone walking into this room and just coming down to Richard's level now.
Well, one of the things that I almost suggested was that everybody has to drink the amount of drinks that we've had to drink so far to catch up. So that
Yeah, Richard wanted the person who comes into guest for the 10th episode to chug 10 Caesars and then come on the episode.
I mean, they could
with
just
us.
go like 10 seconds in a vodka bottle and it'd be fine.
Okay, I need to ask this question.
Yeah.
Richard out of 10, right? Let's say
I'd say I'm an 11.
hypothetically was lightweight.
Yeah.
If you're getting brought down to like a 9, let's say, like a 10 walks in, you get brought down to a 9. Like, what do you think Richard is at? Like, what is
Sorry, you
Richard's
think-
level?
Oh, out of 10?
Out of 10.
You just mean as a person?
Yeah.
Like 2? No.
so then everyone gets brought down
No,
to a 2.
if we're talking about drinking ability, it's definitely like a 2 or a 3.
Oh, yeah,
like
without
a
a doubt.
hard one.
So if we're talking about like how tipsy or intoxicated you're gonna get, like if you were a 9, if you were like, yeah, I played beer pong college or whatever, and then you came in, you'd be like, oh, screwdrivers, and you'd fall over. Like,
Got any Smirnoff Ice? Yeah. Wow. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you, Oshea,
thank
for
you,
coming on the
Oshea.
podcast. If there's anywhere that people can reach
Thanks
you
for having me.
online.
Yeah, it's at Ojephson on Twitter.
Yeah.
nice.
And then I have a flip phone, so I do nothing else.
It's
So
completely
you're
true.
gonna have to log on to
I've
your
known that for
PC,
years.
so-
I just find it very funny.
I was with him when he bought it, and I was upset then. And
And
as
we'll
I
be
am
there
now.
when he's buried with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
absolutely. Well, it'll probably still work because it's a flip phone.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for this week. We'll talk, or today. Well, it's with
Yeah.
yep, tomorrow.
Wow, you nailed that.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao. Say goodbye, Ocean.
Thanks. See you guys later.
It's literally not what I said.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.